All right, now YouTube, welcome back to the channel now there. We're going to do a little educational video today, so stay tuned and we're going to talk about how to take payments for different side hustles. This is a firewood video, but it's the same thing for any firewood or anything you really want to sell, really. So I do want to mention first off, I didn't really make a big deal out of this, and I don't really want to, but I came down with COVID for the first time about 2 weeks ago, and I had to stop selling firewood. I haven't been making videos. I was way ahead on my videos, and it's been 2 weeks now with no videos, so hopefully I can stay caught up. If not, I'll just kind of start posting videos whenever the opportunity presents itself. I've been going about 2 years now of posting 3 times a week on schedule, and if that ends up ever breaking, that'll just be okay with me. I've given it a pretty good run. So anyways, now back to the topic of the video here now. If you want to accept payments, it's pretty easy to do, and a lot of people like to use credit cards and digital payments and that type of thing these days now. Since I started doing a lot of gig work and things, I never really realized how many people use things like Venmo, but especially the younger generation, it's just everywhere. People do all kinds of things that you have no idea about until you really get out and explore stuff, right? So not everybody does the same things that you like to do. So I found out that Venmo was quite popular. But so when you're accepting payments for any goods, services, whatever, even if you just sell something once on the marketplace there or something, and you want to take payments, you can obviously accept cash. Now, cash is good, but you do, if you're running a business and you need to put it in the bank, that's the only thing about cash is you still have to drive it to the bank and make a deposit, which takes time and it has to be done in person, and you got to fill out forms and wait in line or whatever. So cash is good. Obviously, it has its advantages, and cash is always fine and accepted. But if you're really running a business and you have a lot of money that you're living on and paying your bills on and with and everything, that cash has to be put in the bank. And that's the only thing about the cash there. You got to drive it up and put it in the bank usually. So you can also accept checks. I've done that a few times. I don't like to do it, but I mean, typically when you're selling firewood, you can do a little research on the people. You know where they live, you have their home address. A lot of times if they're coming from the marketplace or something, you can see if they're good people, they go to church, whatever, and if they have to write a check and you want to be nice, I will accept checks from time to time, and I haven't had any problems yet. Knock on wood there, but so far it's been good. And then checks also, you can usually, like at your bank, most banks usually have an app and you can just deposit it right on your phone, and you can sit at home and get your money in the bank and whatever, like I said, because you got to be able to use the money, right? But the next thing, like I said in the intro, is Venmo. Now Venmo is great. A lot of people have it. I mean, almost everybody has it. It's unbelievable how many people have Venmo, but you can use Venmo. The main thing with Venmo, and I didn't run into this for 2 years, and then all of a sudden this year I've run into it, but if somebody marks their payment to you as a professional payment for goods or services, like you're a business, they treat it like a business expense. You can mark it apparently for goods and services, and it gives them some type of purchase protection, and you have some type of seller protection in case the money isn't there or something. However, when they do that, they take a 3% fee. So I had a guy buy $250 worth of firewood from me, and he marked it as goods and services one time there, and I lost like $7.50 out of my payments. And you know, when you're talking about firewood and hourly wages and something, you know, $7 to $10 off of your profit is a pretty good little chunk of money out of your hands after you figure the time that you have put into it, going to get it, the gas, the cutting it, the splitting it, the hauling it back home, unloading it, storing it and drying it for 6 months, and loading it back in the truck and driving it to the customer and you know, you've got a good 4 or 5 hours sometimes and a rick of firewood or a couple ricks of firewood, so you want to make sure you get your money. So the only thing with Venmo, make sure they don't mark it as goods and services, because then they will take that 3% fee out. I've only run into that one time, and it happened this year, so that's not a big deal, but you just might want to tell people, don't mark it as goods and services. Most people don't do that in the first place. And if you send somebody a request for $100, I think they just pay the $100, and I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. But anyways, that's just something to be mindful of. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. The third payment that I accept for all these gig work and firewood and everything is PayPal. PayPal is the same way as Venmo. You need to send the money using the Friends and Family Network. And I actually learned that because I paid for my cat, Mavi, with a PayPal transaction, and she told me that. She said, you have to use Friends and Family because if you don't use Friends and Family on PayPal and you mark it again as for professional goods and services there, it takes a fee out from the transaction, so you lose, I think it's 3% again, but it also gives the buyer protection. So the buyer has the right at any time, I think within 30 days or 90 days or something, and I'm sorry, I don't have the exact facts on that, but it gives the buyer protection to where if they're not satisfied with the goods, or all they have to do is say they didn't receive the goods or the goods weren't in the condition that they wanted or whatever, they can get their money back. So you don't really want to allow people to do that you meet off of online or whatever and buy firewood and you don't know them from a load of coal or something. They could just say, okay, sure, I'll pay you, and then mark it as goods and services, and then you lose $7 or $10 up front already, and then they could, as soon as you drive away, they could turn around and mark it as an item not received and use their seller protection and take their money back out of your account, and you'll never see it again. I mean, you don't want to get into that situation. You don't want to be sneaking around in somebody's backyard trying to steal your firewood back and fighting with somebody and all this. So be mindful of that with PayPal. Use the Friends and Family Network, no problems. Everybody should have PayPal. It's a huge network, and I'm surprised at the amount of people that use Venmo instead of PayPal actually, but I've only had a few PayPal transactions, and everybody has Venmo. It's really been unbelievable, and it's really helped my business a lot. I mean, I get a lot of money through that Venmo. So PayPal, you can also use. Everybody should have credit cards and things linked to their PayPal, and unfortunately, I don't use it a lot, but it is an option if somebody needs it and they don't have Venmo. Usually you can say, do you have PayPal? And they should say yes, but some people are just completely computer oblivious and they don't have anything or whatever. And that brings me to my next thing. One guy had none of that. He had no cash, he had no PayPal, he wasn't at home, his daughter couldn't write a check, she didn't have the money. He was at the emergency room with his wife or something and had me deliver the wood anyways. But he wanted to pay with Apple Pay. So that's my next thing, is you can use Apple Pay, or it's basically Apple Cash, which is part of Apple Pay. And it's very easy to use. You just get in your phone setting there in your wallet and set up Apple Pay, and you link a credit card and I think a bank account to your Apple Pay. And a lot of people use that when they're out and around. You can pay for all kinds of things with Apple Pay. I mean, you name it. You can buy things offline and pay for it. Any fast food restaurant you go to, you can get lunch and use it, whatever. So I've done that before for people too, and it works out pretty nice. Because if you send somebody a text message and you look down on the bottom left of your phone, which would be down here for you, there's a little plus symbol. The same thing like you would send a photograph or attach something to a text message. You would hit that little plus sign, and one of the options, it'll say add a photo, video, and then it'll say Apple Cash, and you can send cash now. So you just tap on that Apple Cash and you write in the amount and it'll send a request, and somebody can also pay you the same way. I mean, they can hit pay and send the money to your text message, and they just send it to you. So you get, say it's $100, you get $100 and it just shows right up in your Apple Pay and your wallet there on your iPhone. It'll just say balance cash $100. So the thing with Apple Pay is to move that money from Apple Pay to your bank, they do charge a fee, which is like 3% or something. So again, that's not the greatest thing, but like I said, so many people accept Apple Pay and Apple Cash that if you get a couple $100 in your phone under Apple Cash, that's not really the end of the world for me. I just don't send it to the bank, and then you have money when you're out riding around if you want to buy lunch, or you say you want to stop in a hardware store and you need some tools or some bar and chain oil or whatever, hydraulic oil, or you can just use it and throw it on your Apple Pay there. So you got a couple $100 charged up, and then that can just be kind of your beer money, your tool money, your lunch money, whatever. You can use the money very easily without having to send it to the bank account and pay that 3% fee. So it wasn't a terrible deal. I have money in my Apple Cash, and I've kind of enjoyed having it there for those type of things. And then if you really wanted to look closer and you needed to pay a utility bill or something, you might even be able to get online on their website and do a payment on like a utility bill using Apple Pay or a credit card or something like that, and use the money that way. It depends on your utility company or what company you're dealing with, but it could be possible to do that too. So that's how I've been accepting payments, and I thought somebody out there might find some use out of that, especially people doing gig work or selling firewood or selling anything, like I said, for that matter. So hopefully you find that interesting. Remember, some of these services, you just need to make sure they're not going to take the fees out. Other than that, it's been all good. Apple Pay does charge a fee to transfer to your bank account. Venmo and PayPal, they charge a fee if you mark the payment as goods and services for a professional business there. But if it's for personal transfers, there's no fees, no nothing. It's just straight money straight to you, and it goes right into the bank real easy. So I've really been liking that. And I hope you enjoyed this video today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe there now. And I'm going to try to get back on my feet and get rid of this COVID. My sinuses are still bothering me, so I need to get back to work and get back into business really bad. I'm behind now 2 weeks. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.